Hi, everybody. I'm Olivia Scott, the new Associate Professor of Advertising here at Loyola University, New Orleans School of Communication and Design. And right up there with my excitement about being here in this role is my joy to host and present Behind the Ad, our new monthly series. We're going to go behind the curtain and explore the art and science of effective advertising. I've been working in this field for almost 3 decades in New York City and Chicago, and I have never been more fascinated with all of the creative possibilities and job opportunities that are available to our students, both current and prospective. With so much talk about the creator community, more and more people are embracing their creativity, and we talk about this every day at Loyola University. So tonight, we kick off this series with a leader in experiential marketing who's going to trade with us some trade secrets, right? So, with gratitude to the SCD leadership team, specifically our director, Dr. Cheryl Kennedy Heidel, and Dean Kern Mass, with some special love to Albert Dupont on tech and Mary Stayes on social. Let's get this party started. The one and only founder and president of the Spears Group, ladies and gentlemen, Cleveland Spears is in the house. Cleveland, are you here?
I am here. Good evening, Olivia.
How you doing, Cleveland?
I am great. How are you doing this evening?
I'm wonderful, and I'm really appreciative. We're really appreciative that you are our first guest. So thank you for making the time. I know you're a very busy man running a really amazing agency here in New Orleans. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so I want to start with something that I think is really important to understand how you got to where you are. You know, People raise their children to be doctors, lawyers, accountants, engineers, policemen, firemen, but they don't really raise them to be ad people and marketing people. So, can you share with us something about your journey? Tell us more about how you got to where you are today.
Awesome. I'd love to. As you mentioned, I'm the president and CEO of a New Orleans-based agency, the Spears Group. And we're a full-service agency delivering creative and strategy and media services. And so my journey started with entrepreneurship first, and then advertising second. I knew fairly early as a teenager that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to own my own business. And for part of my teenage years and even early years of college, I thought that business would be in technology and IT. I entered college as a computer science major, and I naturally liked advertising. I like the creativity of it. I like the idea of creating compelling ideas and concepts that move people to action. And so in my sophomore year, I switched my major from computer science to marketing. So I made the decision that marketing would be my track some time ago. And early in my career, I had this kind of dual experience of technology and marketing. So that led me to some really cool opportunities doing marketing and PR and business development in the tech sector. And as I matured in my career and got some more exposure and things like that, I wanted to go more full throttle into the agency and kind of integrated marketing space. And I transitioned out of technology into a small Black-owned agency in New Orleans. Really, that's almost about 14 years or so ago now. And I cut my teeth in the agency world in that firm. And that was also really about helping to market the city. The agency I went to work for was on a lot of work marketing the city and really marketing the city when the time the city needed it most, which was following Hurricane Katrina and leading campaigns and strategies about how do you get New Orleanians to return home. And that was right around 14 years ago. And now we are here with the Spears Group.
Okay, so tell me this. What was the first event that you ever created, and what did you enjoy about it? Because I know from my life experience, once you get a taste of an event, right, you want more. They become addictive. So tell us more about the first event that you created or the first event that you were a part of,
Mhm.
and what was it that you enjoyed about it?
The first event I created, it is a bit of a sad story, but it's kind of like what comes out of challenging opportunities. So in 2006, This is about 1 year following Hurricane Katrina, and there was this wave of violence in our city in New Orleans. And the first event I created myself from kind of my own idea and produced myself was actually a Stop the Violence Summit. And we had kind of panel discussions and speakers, and I had Dr. Michael Eric Dyson as my speaker. And I was so young, and I was reaching out to all these people, and I had no money, I had no real track record or backing, and all these folks was really compelled to help me because I really had no idea what I was doing. And so this event was during the 1 year commemoration of Hurricane Katrina, and Dr. Michael Eric Dyson was in town speaking already, and I was able to have him come speak at my Stop the Violence Summit, and a host of other speakers and things like that. So my first event was really a summit in a hotel ballroom, and then obviously I went on to create a lot of really cool, unique, fun, entertaining events that are a lot more joyful. But that's the first event I've ever created from scratch.
But what was it? What was it about that event that you were like, okay, I didn't know what I was doing. I was figuring it out. I was wayfinding, but I liked it. I want to do more of it.
So that's interesting. It is a parlay. Life is a series of setups, a series of opportunities. So while I was so young and didn't know what I was doing, I went to someone and asked that person to help me, and they agreed to help me, and they had their own ideas or our agenda, and it ended up being, yes, Cleveland, I help you put on this Stop the Violence Summit. You seem very passionate about it. And immediately following the summit, this person asked me to work for them and producing events for them. And so immediately following that, I took over the New Orleans First Friday series. And this probably predates most of your students. But there was in the early 2000s, a series across the country of events called First Fridays. And it is a coming together of professionals around networking and entertainment and culture. And so a few months later, I produced my first fun event. It was actually November. It was the first Friday, November 2006. And I produced a First Fridays event, which included a business-to-business happy hour, networking, a concert, and brought out about 2,000 people. And it was amazing and just joy filled, and it was the first kind of big event of its kind since Hurricane Katrina, which at this point was probably a year and a half, less than a year and a half past that disaster. So that and from that moment, seeing the joy in bringing people together is really what had me hooked.
Fantastic. There's something about events that there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes, but the day of, and a lot of times you swear off, I'm never doing this again, or whatever you have, I'm not going to do that. But the moment where everyone is there who's in attendance and they're having a good time and you're responsible for it, it's just amazing. So a couple of more questions for you, right? So tell us about a few of the events you created recently. Now, I got here to New Orleans in January 2020, right before the pandemic, but I keep hearing about this National Fried Chicken Festival. And I understand that you are the man behind that brand. So can you tell us more about creating that and what went into it?
Okay, I'll talk about that one, and if we have time, a few others as well.
Please.
So to date, the largest event we've produced and created is the National Fried Chicken Festival. We created it, we had our COVID years, but in 2016. And so the story behind the National Fried Chicken Festival is also a really special one. Myself and a number of other local civic and business people were in a retreat discussing of all things racial reconciliation. And it was organized by the former mayor, Mitch Landrieu. And it was these, put these smart people in the room and really figure out how to get the racists to play nice and build a more equitable city. And after a couple of days of this, and exercises and discussions and sharing, one of my dear friends who was sitting next to me in the session says, somebody should just do a fried chicken festival. Everybody loves fried chicken. The Black people and the white people will show up. And there was chuckles in amongst our little circle of people talking, and immediately as it left her lips and I heard it for the first time, I thought it was a brilliant idea. And that goes back to my belief in bringing people together around food. If you think back through life and history, people go on first dates, they go to dinner, people celebrate special occasions over dinner, people close business deals over lunches and dinners. I have a business dinner after this tonight. Food has always been this convening force across the globe, regardless of age, race, cultures. And the moment she said it, I thought it was amazing. And I came to the team here at the Spears Group because my vision for it was immediately a big one. And so I asked the team if they would let the company take this on, if we would take this on. And after some deliberation and there was some rich debates, the company decided that we thought we were the company to embark on this idea of bringing people together around this food that everyone loves. And we went back to my friend Jade and asked her to be our partner since it was her idea. And she graciously accepted us to take her idea and run with it. And that was 7 or so years ago. And, we've grown it. We've hosted a ton of small restaurants from across the country in our festival. We've hosted over 180,000 guests at our festival in one weekend. And we've been able to do a lot of good and really help people bring people together. And like I thought it would, there's great stories that will come out of it. I was somewhere and this couple that are married now say how they met at our festival. Restaurants that were these kind of caterers who were kind of operating out of their homes and doing these kind of pop-ups have now grown their business into more established commercial catering operations or even started restaurants. We've had folks tell us that, in New Orleans, such a tourism-driven economy, the summers are very hard for restaurants here. And so with our event kind of being at the end of the summer, it's that kind of needed resurgence that they need after having a rough couple months before it. And our restaurants tell us that they generate, a month worth of revenue in 2 days with us. Based on just the sheer size of people we're able to bring out. So we've been able to do a lot of good through that festival.
Now, are you planning on taking that festival outside of New Orleans? Because that could go well in my hometown of Memphis, Chicago, New York.
So that festival is large. It's the largest event we do. And it is not the plan for it to travel at this time.
Okay.
We do have another festival that we travel with currently.
Tell us about it.
Great. So the name of the event it's a French name. It's called Célébrer un Rosé, and it is French for celebrate in pink. And that is a rosé champagne and wine festival. We've partnered with Moet Champagne, and we produced this kind of what we call a niche festival. The audiences are small in festival numbers, 4, 5, 6,000 people. It's themed. Everyone is adorned in pink, and we experiment with rosé wines, champagnes, cocktails throughout the day, and invite folks out to enjoy fashion and beauty and fine wines and champagnes and photo installations and things like that. That is our summer traveling concept. So we'll produce 4 of those this year.
Okay.
That will be Atlanta, Houston, DC, and Chicago.
Okay, so let me ask you something, right? Mm-hmm. So, this is Loyola. This is our students. We have plenty of students who are watching, who they're supposed to be, many of them watching, getting a little extra credit. I told them I was going to give them a code. That code is CREATE. If you're listening right now, it's CREATE. But if we have students watching who this sounds exciting, because I know when I was younger, I just wanted to do events, but I didn't really understand the career opportunity. So if you could just break down just a couple of if you had an intern or an account coordinator level person working in events at your firm, give us a couple of things of what they might be doing at that level.
There are so many pathways in the event business. If someone was working with us in an intern level capacity or our entry level capacity, one thing is that we are a small but mighty team. So that means that regardless of your level, you still get to do and see a lot. So there's a ton of research that goes into building events. You have to especially if these events are traveling like ours, you have to find people and resources really across the country. They are helping to negotiate contracts and deals for services. They are helping to coordinate logistics with national recording artists. Um, they're helping to, lay out and design, site design. There's a myriad of things. So right now on our events team, we have a director of events who oversees the entire event operations. We have a marketing coordinator who liaisons with our agency and our various marketing partners. We have a food and beverage manager. We have a revenue manager. That person looks for other revenue opportunities other than just kind of ticket sales. We have a technical director who oversees kind of stage and the AV and production side. We have a talent and artist relations person who interfaces with artists that we are booking and working with. We have an assistant operations person. We have a sponsorships salesperson. We have a sponsorship fulfillment person. Those are the people that help to raise the money. If you look at the kind of the Pepsi halftime show, or kind of these big names attached to these events. One person is helping to secure those sponsors, and then the next person is helping to make sure that everything that they were promised when they were brought on as a sponsor is delivered upon. And so in our little agency, we have all of those positions. And so there's a ton of opportunity for folks who want to get into the experience and event space.
Awesome. So, I'm going to add two more, which are really, really rudimentary, which are driving the golf cart, okay, and ushering in the talent to the green room. Those are two things that, coordinators and interns, they love to be driving that golf cart. So my last question for you today, Cleveland, and thank you so much for sharing your time with us today again. Today was all about 4 secrets to experiential success. Will you share with us some trade secrets? And, I know this is your intellectual capital. This is stuff that you use to drive your business. So I really appreciate you sharing with us those secrets. What do you have for us?
Great. No, I'm happy to. One thing that I think is important, and again, I don't know if these are secrets or philosophies.
Okay.
I would say that I believe deeply in creativity. And when you think of events, there's no shortage of things someone can go out and do. But but the ability to be creative and create new things, we have been creating new things for all of our business. It's actually one of our core philosophies. We don't do repeat things that's just like everyone else. So be emphatic about being creative. How can you create something that is not already being done? How can you take something that's being done and make it better and more unique, more something that separates you from other things happening, other things people can be spending their time doing? The second thing I would say is create experiences that create memories. We have been blessed and fortunate to create some amazing experiences. I'll tell this one anecdote, this one story. We produced an event called Dinner on Blanc for 7 years. And it is a big party and a big outdoor dinner party. And as you can imagine, I think this event had about 6,000 people at it. And it's a ton of things happening. It's just like things happening all evening. And by the time the event's over, as the producer, I don't stop until 2, 3 a.m. the next morning. And I'm exhausted and I'm tired. And I'm looking at all of the comments on Facebook and sharing of folks talking about what a good time they had. And it was the first time that I was almost moved to tears seeing how happy we were able to make so many people through our event. And so as a philosophy, I would say be committed to creating experiences. And experiences are different than parties. They are things that are unique and folks will remember it forever. The next thing I would say is be disciplined and understanding that this is work and this is business. And while your guests are there to have a good time, this is it has to be very disciplined and pragmatic, and budget integrity, and having a real clear business vision for your events. Our events are produced by the Spears Group, and I have a company of people that's holding me accountable to make sure that these events make money. Because while it's fun and it's fun for everyone else, they want me to be disciplined with it as my responsibility of being a steward of the company's resources. And then be passionate about it. The event business is a difficult business, and when things are challenging in the business, something has to get you through it, and your passion and your commitment to it is what will. I will be working well into the evening tonight, specifically on some of our upcoming events, because there's a lot of outstanding things that need my attention. And when you're working long and working late, only the only thing that'll get you through that is being passionate about what you're attempting to create. So those are my philosophies about how I approach the events portion of our business.
Thank you so much. So create with the wildest creativity that you have within you. 2, make sure you're creating memories and you're creating experience. And I thought you had a really interesting nugget in there that experiences are not parties. Really important for our students to know that, in general, that I think a lot of times we think of having a good time, but it's really about creating a memorable and long-lasting experience, being disciplined and being passionate.
Yep.
Wow, Cleveland, I know you have other events to get off and plan. Is there anything else you want to share with our students or with our community?
One, thank you for having me. We've had a long-lasting relationship with Loyola University. We have your students with us almost every semester for our junior associate program, our intern program. And so you all keep up the great work you all are doing over there. We have a number of Loyola alum in our company. One of our VPs is a Loyola alum, so you all are doing great work over there. And if I can ever be a resource to you, Olivia, or to any of your students, I'm only a text away from you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Cleveland. Really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight for the first episode ever of Behind the Ad. We're going to continue creating this content to really educate young people and older people as well around what goes into all of advertising. There's so many different opportunities that are available in this industry. I know I've worked in many of those capacities. So continue to share the word. If you have any creators in your family, any young people who are just wildly creative and you're trying to bridle that passion into a career, we want you to consider advertising as a career path for the next generation of creators. We hope to see you next month, same place, same time. Thanks so much for joining. And share the link with somebody if they weren't able to watch it tonight. Bye.